Hey there, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we finally have from Agriculture, the Spiritual Sound. So this sophomore project dropped when I was on my honeymoon, but I really wanted to be on board with Agriculture since before then. Putting out a critically acclaimed and self-titled debut in 2023, this Los Angeles band drew a lot of attention for their ragged yet remarkably tuneful juxtaposition of furious black metal with some sludgier passages, self-described as ecstatic black metal, a subgenre of a subgenre where I've had some mixed results, and the sort of spare, warbling, pedal steel, acoustics, and saxophone accented country passages that I really wish I liked more than I do. Maybe it was some of the questionable clean vocals that had a bit of an emo timbre that didn't quite work, or transitions that felt a bit too abrupt on that debut. But with folks saying the spiritual sound was even better, I really wanted to hear it. And you know, if you were expecting it was gonna make its whiplash transitions easier, that's not happening. There's less country touches this time around, probably the most coming on the spare twang of the penultimate Hallelujah, even as it ebbs off into these bone-deep rumbles of bass that nudges it towards splashy shredding to end off the song. Honestly feels more like a reprise of the previous track, but the howling, blistering guitars and wild soloing across the filthy bass riffs and guttural wails feel even more cacophonous and nasty. And I really love how those flashy melodies come across on Flea, the galloping euphoria of Serenity, the climactic wall of rattling percussion around the striking churn of the closer, The Reply, and especially that central charging lead on Micah, 5:15 a.m. Although I will say the mixing of some of the blast beats overall on the album feel oddly and inconsistently muffled. It's not all seamless. And it's all juxtaposed with softer sung and spoken word vocals that split between sounding suffocated or hushed amidst the more atmospheric patter. If you can't get on board with those transitions of the dichotomy, either within songs like on the opener My Garden, especially with that oddly muted hook, or Bodhidharma leaping from manic shredding black metal to post-hardcore to even glitch, or between songs like The Weight living up to its title for this album's momentum, even if the grooves kick ass. I credit how well balanced Lee Levinson's bass is for this album working at all, or how Dan's Love Song is a smoked out post-metal churn with the most sensitive singing on the entire project. Yeah, I get how this could lose you, but to Agriculture's credit, with a more consistently balanced mix and better sense of dynamics, I found this significantly easier to swallow with time in a lane similar to like Victory Over the Sun than, say, Liturgy. Although I will say some of the melodic crescendos are not quite as striking. And that will naturally take us to the writing, and from there, it's a sharp juxtaposition between some Zen Buddhist existentialism, trying to find meaning by going straight into that inferno or the abyss in turn, with some historical reference points that feel shockingly visceral. Lead single Bodhidharma references a legendary monk who stared into a wall for reportedly 9 years and cut off his own eyelids so he could not sleep. His apprentice setting himself on fire, then hacking off his arm to demonstrate his devotion. That's a lot, alongside mundane scenes where the deeper pain of the present is left more implied, with only shocking omissions or glanting stabs at oppression in the background. With the queer subtext and trance experience in very sharp view, you can tell there's no need to describe further or add more details about what could be causing that dread in the present. It's not like we don't already know. And if there are inside jokes and hints of levity, and there seem to be, they are gasps amidst the oppressive darkness, where it can seem like there's no real escape, even as you try to offer solace or create. So what if Wood learns that she's made a violin? One of the most stark observations of how you can make music at such dire times and feel no escape on Flea. And yet, while there's some real transcendent rage at those who might be able to detach while you might be facing such agony, highlighting how the individualist journey towards enlightenment can have its own brand of myopia, it's a juxtaposition that ultimately works in highlighting how these existential feelings of dread and pain, they're not new in history. And if you push through it, you might find something closer to a communal truth. not denying the world's chaos and how it can feel like it's on the brink, but a bit of a spiritual vigor in speaking that truth, if not to power, but then to each other. If I've got other deeper critiques of the album, I kind of imagine them being answered with, well, yeah, that's the point, where every juxtaposition and dichotomy in sound or even writing style feels sharper, between searing firepower and quiet tenderness, between more arch and abstract language and more common workaday musings and observations. It's meant to highlight how psychologically disjointed it is to exist in this space, where even if you can rationalize or find a way through it, you still have to live it. And even then, the reply references World War I, where all of this destruction and death felt so damn pointless by the very end, destroying so much of the world, and for what? It's really not hard to see the modern parallel. And yet, yeah, I get that spiritual sound from the ecstatic black metal of agriculture. It feels thrilling and visceral, but also lands its sharpest dichotomies in both text and subtext and sound. Perhaps not my favorite black metal of this year, but it's a great release all the same. Yeah, I know I'm late to the party, but this was a really damn fascinating and powerful listen. Gave me a lot to really sit with, even if you might not click with it immediately. It's worth it. Give it a shot. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see more, please be sure to like, share, drop comments, subscribe. Yeah, I know I'm later to this than I wanted to be, but I do think this album is pretty damn special. I am happy that I can finally get on board with agriculture, because going back to their debut in 2023, or their full-length debut, it was a little disappointing that I just couldn't click with it. The metal was impressive, it was the quieter passages that didn't quite land. And hey, with it landing here, that's a good sign. But hey, leave your comments down there below. Anything else I might be able to do to improve my presentation, I'm all ears. And if y'all want to get involved in helping support the channel, get albums on my schedule in the new year, potentially just argue with me on my Discord, or you never know, see some year-end list early, we'll be checking on that, potentially. Link to my Patreon and YouTube memberships is right over there. Don't feel obligated. Tough times out there, recession's coming, I understand, just the options available. Till then, I'm Mark. You're watching Spectrum Pulse, and I'll see you next time.